Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show here on BT Sport. Over the next half an hour we'll bring you all the incidents from the latest round of fixtures. Here's a taste of what's coming up.
Forest Green make their mark as they thrash Maidstone United. Guiseley's ghastly form continues. And Ronnie Moore enjoys a winning start as Eastleigh's new boss. We start at Victoria Road, where Dagenham and Redbridge knew 3 points would be enough to leapfrog Tranmere Rovers into top spot. It fell to Gary Mills's Wrexham to halt them. Your commentary comes from former Brighton and Celtic defender Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Maguire-Drew, just 18 years old, on loan from Brighton. Sliding in was Robson, great challenge to win it back. Now it's Maguire-Drew, and look at this run here from Guttridge. A chance to shoot, and Hawkins is there! And Hawkins scores!
Well, it's real great improvisation from Maguire-Drew. It's a great run over the top into Lou Guttridge. It's certainly a scuff towards the goal.
And it comes from Maguire-Drew, and the header towards goal is a great one. And it's another one for Dagenham and Redbridge. Powerful header. Hawkins in there again and gets his second.
Well, it's a really, really simple goal. The desire to go and win that header gets the right side of Ben Sharif. That's a great header, it really is.
Guttridge has been brought down, and it's a penalty right at the end of the first half. The tug back gives a penalty here to Dagenham and Redbridge.
Well, this just really sums everything up. A flick on, allowing the ball to bounce, and it's Ben Sharif. It's poor defending.
Looking for his hat-trick. And he gets it. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, right into that bottom corner. A lovely penalty. It's been a great first half for Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yeah, it's a coolly taken penalty from Oliver Hawkins in complete control.
Ben Sharif to strike one. Oh! Really real pace behind that from Ben Sharif.
That's a wonderful strike from that former Halifax man.
Maguire-Drew with the effort. Oh, needed saving. So close. Fingertips from Jalal.
Well, that's a great free kick. Plenty of whip, plenty of pace on it. Again, another good save from the goalkeeper. Moves his feet brilliantly.
Robinson looking for Whiteley. Carrington with not the greatest clearance, so Kennebeardy. Whiteley. Oh, what an effort! And a fabulous stop as well by Jalal, who's really keeping the score down
He
here.
is. He really, really is, Adam. He's made some excellent saves.
And it comes from Widowson. Oh, and it's another brilliant stop by Jalal to deny Hawkins what would have been his fourth.
Well, they're going to be the best two players on the pitch today. That's a brilliant header, it is. He just rises above tilt. And again, that's another fantastic save from the goalkeeper.
Whiteley. And Hawkins, he can get his fourth, another save by Jalal. And Robinson looks to try and drive it in. But what a performance we've seen from this goalkeeper in the second half. Hawkins could have had 5.
I think the important thing for all of these players is to keep growing. You know, It's important, you know, they've got to keep learning. You know, they've all got potential, but no one knows their potential yet. We don't know what it is, so they've all got to push themselves and try and maximise the potential.
For probably 20 minutes we created a few chances, looked better, played in their half, but too little too late by then, and you know, again we've got what we deserve today. We know that's not good enough, but we've got another game Monday to go and put it right.
Maidstone are making a good fist of their first season in the National League. Opponents Forest Green Rovers have been in this division for 19 years and they're not keen on making it 20. A mouth-watering clash at the Gallagher Stadium that didn't disappoint. The visitors, playing in black and white, eased their way into the lead within 5 minutes. A slick finish from veteran midfielder Darren Carter. But it was a quick-fire response. Jack Evans with a free kick right out of the top drawer to bring Maidstone level as the new boys were going toe-to-toe with one of the promotion favourites. In first half stoppage time, Forest Green showed their class. After just a point from their opening 2 matches, Rovers have returned to form with 3 wins in a row. They moved the ball from back to front before Ben Jefford's pinpoint cross found Christian Doige, who broke his duck for the club after signing in the summer. It was a game full of great goals. The next one coming on 75 minutes. Rhys Murphy leading Maidstone a merry dance before blasting past Lee Worgan. Murphy is a graduate of the Arsenal Academy, and it was Kiefer Moore's hard work that allowed him to bag his second of the game and put the visitors 4-1 to the good. Maidstone continued to cause problems and came close to having the last word as Alex Flisher rattled the woodwork. It's now 4 wins in a row for Forest Green, not that their manager is resting on his laurels.
I thought we wasted sort of 20 minutes at the start of the second half. We were a bit sloppy after half time and gave Maidstone an opportunity to get back in the game. And unfortunately, they didn't do that for them. But, no, we're pleased with the results. The best we've played this season for the longest period of time.
Woking made the trip to Booth and Crescent, having gained just a solitary point from their opening 5 matches. Hosts York were at a low ebb as well, after a 6-1 loss at Gateshead, followed by a stoppage time defeat at Forest Green. Both teams were looking to turn their seasons around, and it was the visitors who took a shot lead after 8 minutes. Gozi Ugwu with a fine finish, his first goal for Woking, giving the travelling fans something to smile about. But they weren't smiling for long. 60 seconds to be precise. Richard Brodie drilling in from distance, his 3rd goal in as many games. One thing was clear, Jackie McNamara's side had brought their shooting boots. A fabulous strike from Jan Klukowski, 2-1 to York. And not even a quarter of an hour played. The floodgates were open and the hosts had a 3rd on 20 minutes. The ball prodded in by youngster Jake Wright, the striker with his first for the club since signing on loan from Sheffield United. And with just 26 minutes on the clock, it was game over. Gary Hill's men unable to clear their lines, and Aidan Connolly was afforded a tap-in, his first in a York shirt. The hosts back to winning ways, as Woking's woes continue.
The first half, I thought we were excellent. Our movement, our intensity, our play. You know, the second half, as I said, wasn't as good as that. But we have the players there that can cause teams problems. You know, we're a good side when we play.
When we do concede, I think it's a case of that we count ourselves out for a period of time, and that's no good. And you know, we've had a disastrous spell last week at home against Dagenham and Redbridge, where they got 3 in quick succession, and we've had the same here today against York. It's going to be a tough season, there's no doubt about that, and we have to keep going and hopefully get some results and move in the right direction.
2 teams at the wrong end of the table met at Nethermoor Park. While Bromley managed to register their first victory of the season last weekend, a run of 5 defeats out of 5 for Guiseley had cost manager Mark Bauer his job. Adam Lockwood was in caretaker charge for a game that exploded into life after half-time. Blair Turgott, once of West Ham, producing a wonder goal to steer Bromley in front and give Guiseley that sinking feeling again. And it went from bad to worse just 3 minutes later. Javen Vidal's header pounced upon by George Porter. Penalty to Bromley, a chance to double the lead. Louis Dennis stepped up to leave the home side staring at the prospect of a 6th loss in 6. It was one-way traffic in West Yorkshire. Slack defending again allowed Alfie Pavey in on goal. His effort cannoned off the upright. But goal number 3 wasn't far away for Neil Smith's side. Max Porter gathering possession before guiding the ball into the corner. Porter on the score sheet for the first time in nearly 2 years. There was still 20 minutes to play and Guiseley did show some spirit. First, Ash Palmer's header struck the post. Then Adam Boy's chip beat Alan Julian all ends up, but rattled against the crossbar. The hosts did finally find the back of the net. Adam Smith volleying past Julian with the aid of a deflection. Scant consolation for Guiseley. And a miserable first game for Lockwood was compounded just 2 minutes later. Bradley Goldberg waltzing his way through to score Bromley's 4th. Guiseley, with no points to their name this season, sit rock bottom of the table.
New manager, players wanted to impress, so we knew it was going to be difficult, and I think the first half proved that. They were very resolute, hard to break down. We went in at half-time, just said we need to go again, and come out really sharp, and within 10 minutes we're 2-0 up, and the boys just took it on.
You regroup and you start again and go back to the plan that you've been knocked off, and you keep going at it. And thought, at times we lacked that a lot.
Life in the National League has been plain sailing for Sutton United. 3 wins on the bounce for Paul Doswell's newly promoted side. By contrast, Chester had tasted victory just once in their opening 5 matches. So it was a surprise to see the hosts break the deadlock after just 3 minutes. Defender Blaine Hudson signed from Wrexham in the summer, glancing home his first Chester goal. Sutton heads were spinning just 4 minutes later. Kane Richards blazing a trail through the visitors' back line. Ryan Lloyd was on hand to score the first goal of his senior career. The away side were unbeaten on their travels, but a first defeat on the road looked inevitable when Richards was brought down by Daniel Spence, penalty to Chester. Tom Shaw's spot kick just squeezed past Ross Warner to put the game to bed 5 minutes from time. Manager John McCarthy would have been delighted with the performance of Richards, who was rewarded in stoppage time as he got his name on the score sheet, Chester inflicting Sutton's first away defeat in almost a year.
After back-to-back defeats against newly promoted sides, Torquay United knew they'd have to raise their game against Dover Athletic, who are looking to at least replicate last season's achievement of playoff football. The home side were on the front foot. Nathan Bliss's first touch was sublime. The second touch didn't find the back of the net. Left-back Nathaniel Rowe-Turner has returned to Torquay for his second spell at the club. Steve Arnold denied him a super solo goal. But Arnold was beaten just moments into the second half. Some patient approach play from the hosts before Jamie Reid, on loan from local rivals Exeter, scored his first goal for his hometown club. Dover displayed their firepower. Last season's top scorer Ricky Miller off the bench and onto the score sheet within minutes of his introduction to make it 1-1. But how about this for an immediate response? Just 9 seconds after the restart, the ball ran kindly for Dan Sparks to restore the home side's lead. A first goal in a Torquay shirt for the former Braintree man. Late drama in the dying seconds as former Torquay striker Tyrone Marsh hit the inside of the post for Dover, but it was his old club that took all 3 points. Table-topping Tranmere made the short trip to Southport's Hague Avenue, looking to make it 6 wins from 6 in the National League this season, as they face the league's leakiest defence, backed by a travelling support of over 2,000. Tranmere boss Gary Brabin was in familiar territory, having had 1 spell as player and 2 as manager at Southport. And just 2 minutes after half-time, it looked as though it would be business as usual for Rovers. Andy Cook firing home his 3rd of the season from close range. Southport on the day left out top scorer Louis Almond from the starting lineup, but it took the forward just 9 minutes to make an impact from the bench. His cross-come shot sneaking in to level the scores in the second half. Undeterred, Brabin's side piled on the pressure and perhaps should have snatched all 3 points in the dying minutes. Tyrell Belford with the acrobatics to deny sub Jake Kirby. The point, though, was still enough to keep Rovers top of the table, a point ahead of Dagenham and Redbridge.
Lincoln City travel to Macclesfield, aiming for back-to-back victories after last weekend's 4-0 hammering of Southport, as the Imps look to return to the Football League for the first time since 2011. But Macclesfield have promotion ambitions of their own, and it was the hosts who took the lead just before the interval. Kingsley James on hand to sweep in after Chris Holroyd had hit the woodwork. 10 minutes after the restart, the visitors were back level. On loan Peterborough winger Harry Anderson given the freedom of Moss Rose before rifling in his first goal for the club. After a stellar campaign with Braintree last time around, Danny Cowley is the man tasked with fulfilling Lincoln's promotion hopes, and the new boss pulled off an inspired substitution, introducing Adam Marriott with 20 minutes remaining, and within 4 minutes the former Stevenage man latched on to Luke Waterfall's knockdown to ensure all 3 points went back to Lincolnshire. A timely confidence boost for Cowley's men as they welcome Gateshead to Sincilbank on Monday.
Not many teams will come to Macclesfield and get successful outcomes. They're a very good team and they'll pick lots of points up here. They play with a real rhythm and flow to them, and I think we should take a lot of confidence on the outcome. You know, we're still work in progress. You know, we're improving by the game, which is a positive, but we've still got an awful long way to go if we want to be where we want to be.
Ronnie Moore took his place in the dugout for the first time as Eastleigh boss as his side welcomed Solihull Moors to the Silver Lake Stadium. The Moors have made an impressive start to their first season at this level and almost took the lead just before half-time. Amari Sterling-James driving at the heart of the Spitfires' defence before his shot crashed off the post. It was the host, though, who took the lead early in the second half. Centre-back Ryan Creswell with the deft touch to turn in Adam Dawson's corner. Eastleigh's ambition has been exemplified by the summer capture of Reda Johnson from League One Coventry City, and the Benin international was not to be outdone by his centre-back partner on the day, doubling the advantage on 65 minutes to cement a winning start for new boss Moore.
It's been nice to be back. I mean, I was in the dugout shouting, screaming. You can tell by my voice now. I'm going to have a sore throat later on. It just shows you when you're away for 6 months. But the tension's still the same. It doesn't matter what level you're at and where you're at. You know, everybody wants to win games. But I'm just pleased that we got off to a flying start, really.
Jamie Day has had a tough start to life as Braintree town boss, but the Essex side did manage to pick up their first win of the season against Aldershot last weekend. They made the 600-mile round trip to face a Barrow side with a 100% home record. It was the men in orange, though, who made the brighter start, as they were awarded a penalty after 20 minutes. Byron Harrison, the offender, bundling over Jack Midson. Up stepped Ches Isaac to coolly send Joel Dixon the wrong way and give the away side the lead. Barrow, though, were level just before half-time. Byron Harrison unlucky to see his header come off the bar, but Richie Bennett was on hand to head home the rebound, his second goal of the campaign. Into the second half, and the home side's direct style of play was gradually beginning to break down Braintree, and they got their just rewards with only minutes remaining. That man Harrison in the right place at the right time to notch his first goal for the club and extend the 100% record at Holker Street. Barrow move up to 10th, but Braintree's difficult start to the season continues.
I'm disappointed for the boys because they put in such a good shift. They worked their socks off, played some good stuff, you know, away from home. But the 2 times that we have switched off in the box, we've been punished for, and that's something we've got to learn, you know, pretty quickly. But I think, you know, performance-wise, you know, we're pleased with how we've played, and we've got to take it into Monday now.
It was a tough game. Got to commend Braintree for, you know, for their part in a good game. But I say with our second half performance, I thought we thoroughly deserved to win the game.
Another side with a 100% home record is Aldershot. They met National League new boys North Ferriby for the first time in any competition, with the visitors hoping to pick up their first away points of the campaign. But it was the Shots who were dominant in the opening stages at the recreation ground. Bernard Mensah ghosting in at the back post to meet Shea Alexander's pinpoint cross, 1-0 after 15 minutes. And shortly after, Gary Waddock's side cruised into a 2-0 lead. Liam Bellamy giving Rory Watson in the North Ferriby goal no chance with this header, Bellamy's first league goal since January 2015. Manager Steve Howsham has said if North Ferriby are to survive at this level, they'll need to take their chances when they come, as the visitors missed a host of clear-cut opportunities in the second half. Ryan Kendall, the offender on this occasion, with the goal at his mercy. Aldershot, though, held on for the victory and take their points tally to 10, double what it was at this stage last season.
Well, the crowd get right behind us here, and it's a difficult place to come to. But we've played well on the road, and we possibly should have had more points than what we've got at present. But the performances have been good away from home, so we just got to continue with that to give ourselves a chance in the game.
Neil Aspin has called for consistency from his Gateshead side after their fine start to the season took a dent last weekend at lowly Bromley. They took on a Boreham Wood side without a win in their last 3. But it was the team from Hertfordshire who made a dream start. Gus Mafuta's wayward pass made its way to Angelo Balanta, who finished past Sam Johnson in the Gateshead net with the aid of a deflection. Scoring goals hasn't been a problem for Aspin's men this season. 14 in 5 games going into this one, and they hit back almost immediately here. Ryan Bowman rising highest to turn home Toby Ajala's corner. The hosts, though, failed to kick on, and it was Boreham Woods who maybe should have taken all 3 points. First, Kenny Davis blazing over. Then, minutes later, both Ben Nunn and Jordan Chidozie failed to connect to Balanta's teasing cross, ensuring it finished all square at the final whistle.
Despite dropping their first points of the season, Tranmere Rovers remain top of the Vanarama National League, closely followed by Dagenham and Redbridge. Forest Green's impressive 4-1 victory over Maidstone United pushes them into third, and with 4 victories on the bounce, things seem to have clicked into place for Mark Cooper's side. Eastleigh's new boss, Ronnie Moore, got off to the perfect start with a 2-0 win over Solihull Moors to move into 13th. Wins for York, Chester and Bromley see them move up the table, but Braintree Town fall into the bottom 4 along with Southport and Woking. Rock bottom Guiseley know they have their work cut out if they're to end their miserable run on Monday as they face table toppers Tranmere Rovers. And you can catch that exclusively live here on BT Sport on Bank Holiday Monday from 5 p.m. as Matt Smith is joined by Grimsby Town manager Paul Hurst and former FC Halifax Town boss Jim Harvey. Our coverage continues next Saturday when we pitch our BT Sport cameras inside Plainmoor as Kevin Nicholson's Torquay United welcome Danny Cowley's Lincoln City, and that's from 5 p.m. on BT Sport 2. And finally, the Vanarama National League highlight show returns next Sunday on BT Sport 3 from 10 p.m. Make sure you tune in to catch all the action and reaction from the weekend's games.
That's all we've got time for this week, I'm afraid, but thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.